Welcome to Future Balls. It's Nathan Waters.
And Tristan Grace.
We spin the bingo ball machine. We got 3 future topics. We pull them out and combine them together.
And it just came out. I spun it so slowly, the ball machine. But
There's a podcast. Every man and his dog has a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Pooch talk. Okay, ball 1 is the future of violence. Whoa, okay. It was a dark episode last time, and this one might be intense too. And
just
ball
make it
2.
positive.
Yeah.
Positive violence.
And complexity.
What the fuck?
Okay, the future of violence and complexity. Okay. Well, this could be like thinking about like where war could go, especially as we get more and more advanced. I mean, people are talking right now about, say, with wars and drones and how much drones are just kind of an unknown thing, how that's going to affect future warfare. And I'm thinking like the small drones, like, you know, the tiny little consumer mass market ones, not like the giant predator drones and stuff.
Yeah, the ones that the Taliban can
Yeah.
drop single device bombs from.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could the lifting capacity of just like, you know, a DJI drone is totally enough for like a little bomb.
Yeah. I've always wanted people to drop cats, though. I think cats would be a fun thing to drop on people.
Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be closed down. It'd just mess them up. Just put fear in them, and the fear in the cat as well, I guess.
You could test it as well. Test like how high can you go before the cat dies.
For science.
I'm now on a list.
Cat murderer. Don't fuck with cats.
So kids, when your parents buy your drone this Christmas, you know what to do.
Attach Fluffy and take him on a ride. Oh, man. Well, yeah, what are some other things that could come along and just totally change the nature of warfare? I mean, like, you look at human history, and warfare has massively, like, technological progress has totally changed the entire way that wars have been fought.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, I think the thing that's been holding us back from a full-scale war so far has just been the economic interconnectedness, like global cooperation, and that seems to be like unraveling in the current decade.
Yeah.
And then the thing that seems to be like, once you get to a point where you've got like, you know, mutually assured destruction, you know, we've still got enough nukes in the planet to destroy humanity many times over, but we don't use them because, you know, we're like, well, if they kill us, they'll kill us as well.
See, maybe
so I think. So I think the future of warfare is not going to be like mass armies and things of that nature. It's going to be like sole actors, like the typical terrorism thing. So it's going to be like, you know, deranged or just people who just don't like the system. Like think like Unabomber, but like the Unabomber in our current time, 2020's Unabomber or 2030's Unabomber.
Could do way more.
And just using like small little devices and biohacking like agents and all sorts of crazy shit that just a single actor can just take out like millions of people potentially.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like the individual now has so much more power at their hands than the Unabomber did back then. And it got me thinking when you were saying about like the MAD doctrine, that it's pretty much most of the time applied to nuclear weapons or giant destructive weapons, but it could actually be really applied to really specific things. So say corporate warfare, or say a drone with a bomb, right? Let's just go back to that. If you started actually launching that and taking out specific heads of state, and like, you know, heads of companies and stuff, then they would start doing it back to you. And it's like, it kind of escalates. That the reason that's not happening because, you know, as soon as you start, they'll do it to you. So it's kind of that, it's not exactly mutually assured destruction, but it kind of is. It's, you know, the escalation of warfare, the escalation of violence.
I guess that only works if they can trace it back to you.
Well, yeah, exactly. So if you say it was like proper corporate warfare or state warfare, but you blame it on, oh no, it was just some lone nut, it's just the 2021 Unabomber, but it's actually like corporate warfare or state warfare, because you'd want to always hide that you were the one attacking, so you couldn't actually get retaliated back against, I guess.
So there's the complexity layer. So like in traditional warfare, it's pretty linear. You can pretty quickly trace back who the culprit is. In complex, you know, exponential technology warfare, like you could have systems where they're autonomous, and they've basically just been let go by their creator, and it's completely untraceable. And maybe there's multiple layers of autonomy, like maybe multiple pieces come together so that you can't even trace the supply chains of where those things came from.
Holy shit. Like, that's where it starts getting really, really crazy. Because, you have a totally anonymous system. You're pumping code into a thing. And, like, if you start putting economic incentives, saying, look, just update this a little bit, or just give this, refuel this drone, or just make a little bomb and you get $10 million or something. Like, you're just funneling in untraceable dark money into this system that can't be shut down with, all blockchain latest developments and shit. Like,
that's why DAOs terrify me, because DAOs are like, just dumb at the moment. They're just dumb economic incentives where people will happily do whatever their little task is, as long as it gets them rich. But it could be like I've always thought of DAOs as like paperclip maximizers, but it could literally be like I think I've literally written an essay a couple of years ago where I said one of the dark sides of DAOs could be endless warfare, because you do just have like it could just fund endless warfare, and it just like you just said, it could encourage people to do little pieces where the whole comes together to cause mass violence. But on an individual level, it seems harmless, and people are just doing it to get their little token rewards.
Yeah.
And because it's all anonymous, it can't really be traced back to anyone in particular. And because it can't be shut down, it's like you can't even like stop it. So it's just like endless, unstoppable violence.
God damn. The thought of DAO warfare, like, because they're not bound by, I mean, at this point, like current DAOs, sure, they are bound by legality and all that because they're super weak. Like there's not a lot built on top, but it's not far to think that, say, like, in the coming years and stuff where you have totally autonomous organization, like when the point of a DAO actually is there could be a lot of bad things happening there. Like, especially if there's multiple systems trying to take control. Fuck that. Okay, how the fuck do you stop that then? I don't like this. This is really bad.
You can't. You need to you either need to have a really nice society where nobody wants to hurt each other because everyone's needs are just everyone's needs and purpose and goals are fulfilled, or you have to like track everyone like Minority Report style, where you just anticipate their moves and you're just monitoring everything. And I kind of like that. Like, I think there's two forms of like mass surveillance. So there's like obviously the mass surveillance that we have today, where it's like the government just controls everything and it's like a single source of a single actor behind it all. But what if you have mass surveillance where it's like, think like a mass surveillance DAO, for lack of a better term. But imagine nobody owns it, nobody controls it, which could have a second order of negative effects. But a DAO where it's like it's monitoring everything, but no individual has any particular power over it or any insights into it. It's just like this black box that just it watches all, and then occasionally it just tells the authorities, go and look at that person.
Well, if the DAO is just to get as much data as possible, and then that data is open for anyone to look at it, then people could build on top of it and create that system to say, hey, go and watch this person. It's like you have the layers of the DAO going up.
I guess so. It just has to be like,
open,
anonymous and uncontrollable.
Yeah.
And hopefully not like not spit out just false positives.
Well, yeah. How do you audit that shit? And then even if it is audited, and say, hey, this isn't working that right. And then the DAO's like, well, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah. It just like accidentally labels all black people as terrorists. Like, oh God, why?
Yeah.
And the authorities are like, I don't know. It just told me, man. It just told me.
God damn. Yeah. The amount of abuse that could open up to is fucking terrifying. So your first point saying that we need like, a perfect society where people are generally pretty good. I am really, really surprised by how little like terrorist attacks have been done through the dark web. Because at the moment, like using say Monero or different approaches to like, doing things online, you can be totally anonymous with pretty good certainty. But there haven't been a lot, at least that I've come across, like, well, the fact I haven't actually come across them, they haven't been big in the news of like, big approaches, like big, terrible things happening, mainly organized through the dark web. But I don't know, it makes me wonder, is it that just people don't have the technical ability to do that? Maybe I'm overestimating how good people are at understanding how that works? Or is it just people are fundamentally better than this? Or is it kind of like social media back in the early days? Oh, everyone that was online early on, it's going to be such a utopian, amazing time once everyone can share all of their thoughts. And then once everyone was able to do it, it got to some interesting times.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, remember we had that recorded idea that got us in trouble a few years back of decentralized assassination networks.
Yeah, that was fun.
It's on YouTube. Look it up.
Yeah.
Has that happened?
Well, see, not that I've seen. A few
exist?
Popped up, but nothing ever really happened with it.
Nothing caught your interest?
Yeah. Well, I've never actually gone exploring. I haven't been on the dark web in like 10 years or so. I haven't actually gone exploring it. It was really boring, I remember.
Bought tabs.
Yeah.
Off the OG Silk Road.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting worried about this. The thought of like DAOs, uncontrolled DAOs, like proper evil DAOs, is really terrifying. This is just the beginning. Like, this is just within the next couple of decades. Think about how else is going to change in the future.
Yeah. Some of the I'll just name drop some really good people who talk about this stuff, and I can't pull out what they've been thinking of because I can't remember it. But John Robb, so he's on Twitter, he's really good, and Daniel Schmachtenberger. So they talk a lot about like existential risk from exponential technology, essentially.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you could do an entire episode on them if you just researched the hundreds of hours of talks they've given. But yeah, really crazy shit that could happen.
I want to look more into this. I'm realizing I haven't thought a lot about this. It feels like just skimming the surface. Need something to like ponder and go, ooh, what could actually happen here?
Yeah.
Okay, let's add in a third ball.
Yeah, next ball.
Complexity. Future advance. Of course, it's the third one. And it is identification. Oh, no, facial identification. Well, it's just identification, I guess.
I guess that fits in with just knowing everyone and knowing everything they're doing at all times to prevent them from doing really bad, violent things.
I guess so, yeah. It's also like, so facial identification and say identification just in general, it's like kind of a way of preventing multiple accounts. It's like you are this one personality. Everything is tied to you no matter what. And in the surveillance state, I guess that's you're stuck with one. Like you're stuck with an absolute version of you. And I know earlier on, like in the whole decentralization movement, people were really, really fucking nervous about like decentralized identity that gets tied to you. Because if it does become like your profile and this is you, you can't get away from that. Like you're stuck. Absolutely. Which
and it also doesn't mirror how we operate in real life. Like we have, as much as we are one person, unless it's a simulation, like we operate under different identities in different contexts. Like different friend groups, you're a different person subtly, but like you act differently when you're at work or if you're hanging out with friends or different environments and stuff like that. So it's the same online. Like it's weird that we actually moved away from like pseudonymous avatars and names. Like I don't really have any anymore. I still have one on Reddit and Hacker News, but I think even on both of those, it's still very easy to trace my real identity to it.
Yeah,
I don't think I have any like online account that's fully anonymous anymore.
Yeah. I recently had to go through my Reddit and delete a whole bunch that could be tied back to me because I'm a bit nervous about all of that stuff. I should probably do it with that Hacker News one as well. But yeah, I know because I used to be the same. Like have all the different vBulletin forums and other places.
Yeah,
it's all gone now.
All those got deleted though. It would have been nice to keep all that data.
Yeah,
so many of those just got deleted, and I don't think Wayback Machine would have picked it all up or Internet Archive.
Be worth looking up. I know a lot with the NFT stuff that's popping up all on Twitter and stuff that people are like hiding behind avatars of that they're saying, oh look, if you've got this avatar, if you've got this NFT, you can actually like join our group and we all go talking and stuff. And like say in Discord, people are all talking their own thing. But I really hate how Discord, you're kind of all tied together with your same damn name.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know. I get nervous with, say we're fully surveilled at all time and we're going into like the future of violence, the future of warfare. if you can be found straight away, like that just makes it even easier. If you just be killed by a drone with a bomb. I mean, what was that basic thing saying, like, on Facebook where it identified when people were away and then it said, hey, rob this, or it was like robthisperson.com or something dumb like that. Just because you post you're away and it's like, well, here's their house, go for it.
Yep.
You do the same thing now.
Or even the drone idea of if you just release a whole, like, thousands of drones and you just, if you're trying to attack someone who's like well known, like I always just like bring up like Obama, just for the sake of it. Like, there would be millions and millions of pictures of Obama's face online that you could very quickly train on any neural net, very cheaply or for free. And then you just feed that into a couple of thousand drones. You just release them in his general vicinity, and you just say, find.
Go on, my pretties.
If you identify them, you just fly at his head and overload the battery.
Yeah.
Or explode an explosive or whatever. And that's it.
Hot. Yeah. Oh, there was a really cool video I saw on like Reddit a little while back of, how you have like drone swarms up in the sky, like kind of like fireworks. They make pictures and stuff.
Yeah. They were falling?
They were falling, yeah.
Yeah,
they were like raining drones. That was terrifying.
I think the theory was like a competing company hacked them.
Oh, really?
Must have sent out radio frequencies to just tell them all to like stop.
I like that. That's hilarious.
So actually, on the drone thing, I've thought about that a few times in the past. Like, so if you do get to that stage where people are using drones to like individually assassinate people autonomously, so it can't be traced back to them, I've then thought like, okay, what would be the response to that? And so you would think, okay, one option is just like never go outside if you're like a celebrity or someone. The other option is you have personal protection drones.
Yeah.
So you'd have to have like anytime you're outside or even maybe inside, you'd have a bunch of drones around you that are just constantly monitoring for other drones, and then they intercept them. Because I don't think you'd like, I've seen some things where they have like bodyguards and stuff with like nets they can shoot out of a gun.
Yeah,
but like these things can fly at like over 100 miles per hour. Like,
faster. They are stupid fast.
A human's not going to be able to respond to it, so it has to be some mechanical, like it has to be another drone that intervenes, or potentially lasers. But
lasers is what I've seen like on ships. I think there was a ship defense doing that, and because they can actually pivot the laser really, really quickly to actually intercept any of that. So it's like kind of like your own personal missile shield, really, because at that time drones really are missiles just getting launched at you.
You just wear it on a hat, like
oh god,
a hat with a little laser mounted like protection thing. Well, the other option is you have like cities, and in every city, like how like on the White House they have like anti-missile drones. They just have like anti-drone drones. Yeah, anti-drone lasers on roofs everywhere.
Oh, I mean, it's banning drones, right? Like anything that flies that's small, you just ban that. And like within the city, that's it. Like sure, out in the country, you can't do it, but within a high density areas. And
there goes the idea of parcel deliveries via drones.
Yeah. Because even the laser, like say if you've got 1,000 drones all traveling at, let's say 200 k's an hour, just flying right at you, the laser could only intercept so many, and say it's like, $500 a drone, 1,000 drones, it's not that much money, really.
Yeah.
Fucking terrifying.
Drones are terrifying.
And that's just drones.
We haven't even got into like, bio weapons.
Exactly.
That's even more terrifying. Drones you can actually see.
Yeah. And drones are old tech as well. Like what's coming out lately? Like, well, yeah, biotech. You just make your own, you re-engineer the coronavirus a little bit, right? And say, oh, just go for this. I'm just going to get an anxiety attack happening right now.
This is why I think too, if you extrapolate this out as well, this is why I think like cities can't have a future. Like I don't see how that can be possible, because if the only defense against complexity and like a complex existential risk from exponential tech weaponry, then you have to basically decentralize. So you can't it's weird that like we're all big into decentralization, but humanity is like centralizing.
Yeah,
physically, we're all moving into cities.
Urbanization.
And like there's obviously the benefits of cities, like faster flow of memes and more opportunities economically and stuff like that, and socially and culturally. But it's a huge existential risk to live in a city. Like
Yeah.
I'm even terrified being in a city now because it's just like with COVID, it's like fucked place to live. Like you have zero agency. Like in a city, there's zero agency during a pandemic in a city. Like
yeah, I'd love to see if how much COVID's actually impacted the urbanization rate. Maybe it might start going out the other way. Might be a downturn
until they force everyone back into the offices.
Well, yeah. What's the other thing of so like other complexity and other weapons happening that now say space flight is becoming privatized, and like the amount of stuff that you can actually
space weapons.
Yeah, space weapons and like even just big, tungsten rods just on your own little satellite. I mean, are they going to anything that goes up into space? They're going to like scan it and say, "What do you actually want to do it for?" Yeah, rods from God. Yeah,
rods from God. Yeah, those things are fucked.
Yeah, terrifying. Oh man. So that's just another thing. Like once you can get up there, like it's literally just flying above your head. It's a literal sword of Damocles. I love it.
And you also can't see it.
Yeah, exactly. And a laser wouldn't stop shit. Yeah. You need another mass to hit it.
Okay, how do you prevent? We worked out how to prevent against drone attacks. You basically wear a laser hat. How do you prevent against tungsten rods?
It's a tungsten hat.
Satellites. Tungsten hat. It just goes dunk.
Yeah. Missed me. You'd probably be able to detect it earlier because it would be going in just one straight line the whole time. So maybe a tungsten rod.
You wouldn't have time to get away.
You probably would. It'd take a while. Like maybe
space, 9.8 meters per second squared.
Yeah, and then especially if they launched it as well. It's not if they just dropped it, but if they launched it down as well.
I don't think they'd launch it.
Well, to give it some extra speed. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, maybe it'd be very good against buildings. So if you knew where the person lived or slept, they were sleeping there. Because I don't think you could knock it out of the way, like unless you've got like another weapon on top, a defensive mechanism above where you're sleeping on top of your house that's ready to divert it or something, but just to destroy your living room rather than your bedroom.
Okay, so maybe you need like GPS spoofing or location spoofing. Like an onion, like Tor for GPS. Something like that. But I mean, GPS is not the only way you can track someone's location. But
no, there's lots of different ways. And again, it doesn't just have to be one rod. You could have like, well, we guess he's roughly here. Launch 50 of them. We have 50 spots where he's probably sleeping.
An entire region just nuked basically with tungsten rods.
Well, yeah, it's just pierced. So it don't even destroy the infrastructure. You just knock out all of the leaders of a organization or country, and cool, they're all gone. Now we just wander on in.
Yeah, try stop that, Avengers.
Yeah, I know all the comic book movies. They're so boring with their thoughts about how like terror could actually happen in the future.
Yeah. It'd be the shortest Marvel movie ever. Like, press the button. They press the button. Boom. And they're like, what?
Oh, man.
Avengers assemble. It's already happened, guys. It's already happened.
These are still just old ideas as well. Like that. I mean, that was like Bush era. So what's some other crazy stuff that's come out? Like, okay, so DAOs were good. We came up with them. Horrible future of violence with the DAOs. But what else is complex? New?
Going to put our violent thinking hats on.
Yeah.
We're not conditioned for this.
No,
we live in safe little air-conned units and we're happily fed. We are. Maybe that's what we should do. We should we should live in really uncomfortable lifestyle for like a month and just get like starve ourselves to death. And then we can have really good thoughts about how to be violent.
About it. Yeah. But see, I guess you need to be well fed and you need to be creative to actually get these highly complex systems working to actually act that way. Whereas, say, if you're not fed, you just grab a knife and you start swinging, but you're not really thinking.
You're saying they're artists. They're like warfare artists.
Yeah, exactly. Terror
creatives. It's the new creator economy.
The creator economy of terrorism.
I'll pitch that to the VCs.
Yeah,
I'm building a creator economy platform for warfare and violence.
Oh, horrific. Yeah, I'm going to be thinking a lot about this DAO thing. It's a bit concerning. There must be an answer there.
The other thing as well is like water. I've always thought like water is a really nobody ever like thinks there's going to be something poisonous or deadly in their water source.
Mm. Yeah, that's
Or
true.
the air. Well, except for like I guess COVID with the air, but yeah, there's so many things where we take it for granted that it's going to be safe, and we don't know if it is.
Well, yeah. Imagine, say, a drone just filled with like a bioweapon, and you just fly over someone's house and you just open it up like aerosol, and it just goes in if it's a super highly toxic thing.
Anthrax.
Yeah, you coat the tungsten rod in anthrax.
Just for extra oomph.
Yeah. If it lands next to you, you're like, yeah, there you go.
Why?
It's too much. Oh, okay. Well, that was another dark episode.
Yeah, maybe we'll release this one separately, so it's not 2 weeks of just darkness.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Awesome.
Sweet. Till next time, guys.
See ya.
Bye bye.